Hey everyone, I want to just say thank you so much to everyone who is listening to this podcast and watching on YouTube. I just really appreciate you guys so much. To see the growth of this podcast and to be where we're at over the last 2.5 years is absolutely amazing. We now have over 140 episodes. We've been able to help over 800 people break into medical device sales, get messages every single day with people reaching out, being able to benefit. And I just, again, want to say thank you guys so much for the support. I want to be here without you guys, and I'm so glad that you're finding this helpful. Again, my goal when I started this was just to help people like myself, and just to see where it's gone is just truly, I'm so grateful for you guys, and also just proud of you guys for taking that step of maybe taking that next step in your career where you want to go. Again, medical device sales is an amazing career, and the reason I'll touch on this is I've had several calls this week of just saying, this is an industry where we get to help people. We get to sell products that are making a difference in people's lives. We get to make a difference in the surgeons' lives and make sure that better patient outcomes are coming. And then also, if we do a good enough job financially, this can change our lives as well. And so it's a very great, rewarding career. And I just want to say, to you guys that are considering it, this career has changed my life. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast, but extremely thankful for it. I want to give a big shout out to our boy, Cade. He worked his butt off and he broke in medical device sales as a nursing student. He has not even graduated yet, and he already has a job. So I just want to tell him how proud we are of him, and he's inside the course. And just seeing the success that we've had inside the course, we've had more people getting hired and more people wanting to join, and it's been great. And again, with that said, because of how much traction we are getting, because we do know that the average person gets in 9.8 weeks, that they are getting hired at $91,000, that they are getting a 30x return in the first 3 months. And so because of that, you guys are just respecting us and doing what we've done. We're not the highest expensive place, because again, you're talking to a guy who moved out here with $1,200 to his name 5 years ago. But I want to make sure that it's affordable, but also in the same respect, I have to protect our time, all the resources that we continue to add, never stopping. And again, you always have live access once you get inside the course. So even once you're in, it's going to continue to help you. And again, it's just about providing as much value, but I will tell you guys the price is going to be going up because of just all the demand and everything that's going in, all the money that we're putting back into the course to continue to grow it, and give as much resources to continue to help our community break in as fast as possible and be as well prepared as they can. And so I just want to let you guys know that. But if you guys do have questions, again, going over the course, I break it down into 4 parts. There's the videos, the modules, the downloadable PDFs and quizzes that you do at your own pace. Again, I made it for the personal trainer who's working 14 hours a day like I was. So it's all self-paced. And then number 2, we do office hours where we meet every Wednesday. We're going to meet on a group call as we go through. You get to see other people in the community. You get to make those relationships. And also we're going to go through a lot of questions and be able to make that community time to make the most out of it for everyone. We also offer mock interviews and mock role plays to help you guys stand out. With a lot of our applicants are going against interviews that have about 500 applicants per position right now. And what we teach is how to stand out during that process. And so that's how they're getting hired as fast as they are. And then finally, we do one-on-one coaching. Again, finding you right where you're at. And we're going to coach you there because, again, I say this all the time. My 23-year-old, like Cade, 23-year-old nursing student is going to be way different than my 42-year-old chiropractor, right? And we're able to help you guys go through that because it's being able to find your story where you're at and talk you through that and help you know the process and that. So we're very confident. We know that. Again, we now offer a 6-month guarantee or your money back. So there's literally nothing holding you back. And then again, financially, we do offer payment plans if that is something you need to look at. We do that. The one thing I will just say is the payment plans never go past 3 months because our average person is already hired in 3 months. So just wanted to state that, but really excited about today's episode. And let's get into it. Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and coming to you guys today where we are finally getting some good weather here in Arizona. It is above 80 degrees. I just tried mountain biking for the first time in my life. New conditioning for me. But like usual, you guys don't care. I'm just talking and getting us started into the episode. But I hope you guys are doing great. Hope the week has been well. Again, always just saying thank you guys to everyone who's taken time to just listen to this. To all the new people that are here, welcome. Being able to see this podcast grow and get the messages from you all, it means the world. And I know we just stated that in right before this, but again, I just want you guys to truly know how much I appreciate you, because without you guys, this podcast wouldn't be going, and I'm so glad that it's been helpful for you guys to this point. And if you guys haven't noticed, we've been doing a lot of the, we'll have a guest and then we try to come in and give you guys some tips. And again, today's tips are going to be tailored more for the people that are already in medical device sales. But again, this is going to be beneficial whether you're in medical device sales or you're not. And again, because I always try to bring it back to if you're not in, how you're going to do it to get in, and if you're in, all that good stuff. But I think this will be an episode that helps out because I've gotten a lot of questions on this. And the title is going to be Getting Promoted in Medical Device Sales. So once you guys break in, right, what's always that route that kind of looks like, right? I've had this conversation several times this week with people looking at the course and looking at medical device sales, and the conversation that comes in is normally what's going to happen is you're going to come in as an associate sales rep role. You'll stay there. Then their average will tell you they'll stay there about 2 years. Then from 2 years, you'll go to a territory manager. You will then be a territory manager. It's going to vary for everyone. There's people, territory managers, again, for everyone who doesn't know, are just sales reps. And then sales reps are people that some people stay there for 30 years. They just want to be sales reps, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then there's the different routes to take, right? There's always the territory manager. There's the field sales trainer that you can still be doing some of the training as well as some of the selling. Some people will just go straight into sales training. So now they are only working with organizations and training the new oncoming people. They're no longer in the actual sales world. They're training all the people who will be in sales. And then from there, you can decide if you want to go that route. You can also go into management, or you just can go into rep. So again, there's a lot of different routes that you can take in medical device sales, and that's what's really attractive about this to a lot of people is you're not just pigeonholed. Because again, you could go do this and be a field sales trainer and do that for 4 years and then decide to go do something else after that. So that's what's really exciting about this industry. And again, I want you guys to know, I never forget about the clinical specialist, right? Normally people who are coming in as a clinical specialist, majority, not always, but majority of the time, are coming from a background where they're either like nursing, speech language pathologist, like something that was actually clinically already. And then they'll go in, do that. And then from there, they can go from a clinical specialist to a territory manager. Some just go into training from there. So you can actually be a clinical specialist and just go into training. But really want to just do a quick podcast today to touch points on how do you help you guys get promoted? What's going to help you guys get to that point? And so this is going to be very helpful for people that are actually trying to break into the industry to people that are already in the industry. So the first tip I can always give you guys, and this is just going to be a rolling basis because I was like, I'm not going to write notes because it's pretty simple, is it's what we say to get the job in medical device sales. How do you guys get jobs in medical device sales? I've said it, if you don't have sales experience, you need to be doing the job to get the job, right? It is the whole point. So you have to understand what the job is. You have to understand what you're supposed to be doing. You need to understand where to go from there. And so that is where this gets very easy, very simple. Most people get it complicated because they'll be like, well, you need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, go here, blah, blah, blah. No, it's here. We could stop the podcast after I give you this answer. It is, you need to understand what the job you're trying to go to is. You need to understand how what you've done so far and your skills correlate to that new job. You need to be able to show what you're currently doing you're very good at. And then you progress. So for example, if you are trying to break into this industry and you're not in the industry, you are going to be I'm going to get distracted. There's been a bird who's been pecking on my window trying to get in all day. Sidetracked, but this little sparrow, I'm gonna get a BB gun or something like that. And to all your bird lovers, I'm from Iowa, we hunt, so sorry if that offended anybody, but I've tried to get him, I've done nice things to get him away from here, and he keeps coming back. That has literally nothing to do about medical device sales, but you guys will hear pecking, and it's gonna be because there's a little sparrow that is literally flying into my window and my sliding door uncontrollably trying to get into my house because he knows how good of this podcast is and wants all the information just like you guys, but he could just download it on the podcast. Silly goose. All right. Anyway, has nothing to do with what we just were talking about, but if you guys are trying to break into the industry, you need to understand where you're going and what you want to do. So if you have no prior experience and you're trying to break into it, you need to understand, hey, what does an associate sales rep do? What does a full line sales rep do? What am I currently doing? What are some of the characteristics that I need to do? So no different than when you guys are an associate sales rep. I have this, and the conversation we always have is we help people. I've had associates go from associate sales reps to full line reps in under 7 months. Again, if you talk to anybody in the industry, they'll be like, that's not real, that's fake, that can't happen because you have to do it for 2 years. It's fake until you do it. And we do it, we've done it multiple times. So the reason I can say that and how we get people hired so quickly on that is because we know what they're looking for, right? Just like I know, and that's why we have our course, and that's why we help people and we get them hired in under 10 weeks. Then most people do this in 6 months to a year and they're trying to figure it out. We get them hired in under 10 weeks because we know the process. It doesn't matter who you're with. We know the process. We know what to do to stand out. We understand what to do very quickly to get the fastest results because we know what they're going to ask and we know what they're looking for. And even though each and every single one of you are different and have different backgrounds, we know how to tell your story to be able to tell your story good enough to be able to get a job. Right? That's the easiest place to say it there. Now, no different than when you're an associate sales rep. If you're an associate, listen to this. You need to understand, what is your job as an associate sales rep, right? What are they looking for? But this is the bigger part. So you want to go be a territory manager. What are they looking for in a territory manager? They're looking at someone who's responsible, someone who's a self-starter, someone who's not going to be needing to get told what to do, someone who can go have lunches or do prospecting by themselves and doesn't need their hand held. Somebody who can actually run an official lunch. Somebody who can actually convert a doctor. Somebody who can actually go win business. So if you hear what I just said, if you're an associate sales rep, that's what you should be focused on. You should be so good at what you guys do. And I should take one step back. First off, learn what your step is. So if you're an associate sales rep and your goal is to go cover cases, run trays, and support your staff, then you should be the most amazing person at that. That's what the number one is. You have to be amazing at what you currently do. If you want to get promoted and you want to go faster, you have to already be great. When people look at you and see you, they have to know that you're going to be great at what you do. Then the next part of that, what we were just talking about, is then you need to understand where you're going and where you want to be and what the job duties of that is. So again, what we just talked about is where if you wanted to be a territory manager, well, if you're an associate sales rep, you should already go start doing that. Because here's the thing I hear all the time. But what if, what if, what if the aliens come back and kill us tomorrow? I don't know, right? But you can get all your what ifs is, I always hear, what if my manager doesn't let me? What if my territory manager doesn't let me? All that stuff. First off, then go ask them. Yeah, they might not. And here, let me tell you why most of the times they won't. Most of the times they will say, no, Jacob, I don't want you to work harder and go do extra work to get us more money. That's going to make me more money as the territory manager and support our business. There's only two reasons that normally happen because of that. Number one, you already aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you haven't been really great at the current job you're in, right? You need to be a master and you need to be a product specialist. You need to be an absolute rock star in the current role that you're in. That's number one. You probably haven't proved yourself yet. And you're still messing up trays. You still have to be handheld. You still have to. And they're like, you can't even do this. So how do I expect you to go do A, B, and C, right? So that's something. So if that's someone hearing that's if they told you no, you need to have a hard check and be like, maybe I'm just not doing what I'm actually supposed to be doing right now. Number two, this happens all the time too. Your territory manager or whoever your rep is a control freak. That happens all the time, right? It comes into business, right? It's why people can never grow their businesses. It's why it's same with territories. It's why people can't grow their territories. It's why they can't. They're control freaks and they think that they're the only one who can do it, that they're the best at it, and that they're the only ones that will ever be able to do it. And what they only understand is that there's only so much bandwidth. You can't be in 20 places at once. And you need to, if you would like to continue to grow, you need to be able to trust other people. But there are people in this industry and every other industry in the world that can't do that. That is when the challenges come up, right? And that's where it's like, this is where I always tell people you need to have a good working relationship with your reps if you're an associate. But at the same respect, if you tell me that you're doing everything that you're supposed to, and then it's like 1 o'clock and you're going home, or you're doing all the work and your territory manager is not doing anything, which happens too, it's then you can go to your manager. Like, people are afraid to do this because I hear this all the time, and I've talked about it. I know people who will be associates and they're like, my territory manager doesn't do anything. They lie about this, they lie about that. And then they go and they get all frustrated and they wait 9 to 12 months and then finally tell their the regional manager. And the regional manager is like, why didn't you tell me this 9 months ago when it was happening? Right? People are too scared. But once that happens, they're going to, again, if they're already lying, they're going to lie about you lying about them lying, right? Like, that's what happens. So you guys have to be proactive in that. But for example, if you're telling me if a territory is running at 100% or 89% or it's close and you guys are really close, but you need an extra couple businesses and the rep is saying, no, you can't do this, but you go to your manager and say, hey, I've actually done some prospecting. I already have a lunch set and they're very interested in using us. I can almost guarantee you that manager's gonna be like, go for it. They're gonna override the territory manager. And what will actually happen is, yes, you won't look the best to your TM because the RM will be like, why is the associate doing all this? This is something you should be doing. But you talk about standing out if you're that person. Bam. Again, this is where I will always just put a precursor and I always just put a disclosure of like, people are going to get offended when you're just better than them and when you're trying to be better than them. Like, we're in sales and people, like, we're all friends here. But like, for example, I was just on a bike ride with my buddy and he has his own business and we talk about this, but like in the world of entrepreneurship, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody cares about how hard you work. They care about the results. And so it's like, you have to have people that you know are going to get you those results. And so it's the same thing. Like when you are on teams, you need to surround yourself around people who are going to push you, drive you, help you get to that spot. But understand the majority of people don't want you there. Even in sales, like you guys will, I say this all the time. I'm looking at my list that I always keep up here for motivation, where it's people that like they were in the top 30 and they still didn't hit quota. Like you just have to understand the majority of people in this world, even in sales, medical device sales, whatever it is, majority of people are not overachievers. Most of them aren't even achievers. Most of them underachieve. They'll almost hit it. They almost had the big deal. They almost hit quota. But there's a whole reason, but they're the same people just screwing off, right? So it's just like you have to have those real conversations. So hopefully that's helpful. It's, again, there's always those relationships and you need to be able to have a good conversation with your reps or whoever you're with. But in the same respect, you should be crushing it at what you're doing. You need to understand what it is. Now here's the next one. If you guys are a rep, because I have reps that listen to this still, and that's awesome. I love that you guys do, and I'm glad that it's helpful because I get the messages. Is like, okay, you're a rep and you want to be a regional sales manager. And again, I'm only speaking from experience. I'm never saying this is the only way, it's the right way. I'm speaking to you guys how I got a job that usually takes 7 to 10 years experience. I got it with under 2, right? So take it with a grain of salt because everybody will be different. But again, what I did was exactly what I just said. I came in, I was a territory manager, and I crushed everything I did at that job. I did very well. I took the lowest performing territory, which you guys already know, and I finished top 10, showing that I was good at what I did. Through that, I also did other things to show that I was an asset to a company. Through that, I also showed that I was able to do coaching of people. Through that, I was able to actually show all the duties that a regional sales manager would do. I was showing that I could already do them in the other stuff that I was doing. So for example, even though I wasn't quote unquote doing it in the job for some of it, like, right, I had to coach people and I could talk about coaching nurses, coaching doctors, like, yeah, I could do that. But like what people don't understand is people think a good sales rep is going to make a great manager. And that is probably the farthest from the truth, because I can sit here and tell you guys from experience, the only reason I'm good at managing people and being able to do courses and get people that I can coach them and get effective results and do this is because I've worked so hard on it. I've always wanted to be a coach. Before, again, you guys don't know this, I was a strength and conditioning coach before all this. Coached athletes on how to work out and lift. That's hard. I taught youth athletes how to move their body. That's hard, right? It's learning and perfecting on how to coach, but being able to just become, like, I was able to go outside and be, hey, I'm going to continue to work on this and be able to coach people. But for example, going back to the sales rep, I tell people when it comes to sales reps, I'm a lone wolf. I don't want any, like, I don't need help. I don't need someone to hold my hand. It was literally like, hey, Jacob, here's the Western United States. Here's who you need to call on. Go. Cool. Thank you. Right? Like, that's what it was. And that's what it is. And that's great. Like, I like that. And again, and then my managers, my CEO knows if I'm reaching out to them, it's because I really need their help. I've always told them, if you're not hearing from me, it's because I'm out hunting. But you'll know how it's going once the deals start coming through. And if it's a longer sales process, it might take a little longer. But again, if I do have questions, I will reach out. But I'm not, just understand, if I'm not reaching out to you, it's not that I'm just sitting in my bed for 5 hours a day looking on TikTok, right? I'm actually doing the work. That's not a great manager. That's not going to be someone who can correlate, because what I can tell you from experience is what I always have to battle when I'm going through this, right? Is someone will complain to me and all that. Well, guess what? As a manager, your job is to find someone's weaknesses and help learn how to build those weaknesses up and then find their strengths and help them flourish in those strengths so they continue to grow. Compared to if I look at managers or if I looked at reps and I'm like, God, I can do this. I just do A, B, and C. Why don't you just do this? that's not going to help them because they're not me. And so again, that's a whole different story, but I'm showing you guys, like for example, if you guys are reps, you need to, what have you done to show that you can coach people? What have you done in your career that you show that you're a good rep, you understand the products, that you understand that you can be successful in this industry, that you understand that when you go to the next level, that you will be able to be successful. And that's what it's all about. So again, I'm just saying the same thing over and over again to you guys to have you understand that if you guys want to get promoted, no matter medical device sales or whatever you're doing, you need to be great at what you currently do, understand the job that you're going for, and then be great at it. And the last thing I'll say, because you'll do that, but then the last thing is network. It never stops. Like I tell you guys, I network now more once I'm in the industry than I ever did when I was trying to break in. I reached out to thousands of people when I was trying to break in. I still reach out to hundreds of thousands of people now. There's a reason you guys see me on LinkedIn and TikTok and there's other places and people mentioning me in comments. It's because I'm getting on calls. I'm still working with people that are top in the industry, trying to learn as much as I can, right? You just never stop. And that's one last thing I'll just kind of put in there is I just had a great talk with one of our coaches in the course, and that's the people that are trying to break in, they think it's like this pinnacle of like, once you break in, you just quit. It's like, no, you just got to the first base camp of Mount Everest. You still got a lot of climb to do. It's always a projectile of going up, but it's going to take time and you have to show that you're doing that. So again, you guys, if you're trying to get promoted in medical device sales, just be really freaking good at what you do and just overachieve. Number two, understand the job that you're trying to go for so you can start doing those skill sets while you're in the current job to show when you go into that route. Because this is what I'll say, if you're an associate sales rep and you close a $50,000 deal or a $100,000 deal and you can show that, or you close a doctor that does $500,000 and you can put that on your resume, that says something. Because that's what you're going to be doing once you're an actual rep. So it's being able to show that and then being able to progress through that progress. No different than if a territory manager. Be really good at what you do, but then you need to be able to show how can you handle people? Do you have situations where you've handled a lot of different people, which you have if you've dealt with nurses, scrub techs, all that. But that's a whole different world of dealing with those people and then actually coaching people to get results, right? And that's what you got to be able to focus on. And so there's a lot of different routes to do it, but then it's again, you got to continue to network, because the last thing I will always say, and this will rub some people the wrong way, and that's okay, but the years of people who are like, I'm going to stay at a company for 50 years and that's it. Those are the people who get left behind and get lost a lot of times, because again, I'm just telling you guys facts. I have nothing against any company, but it's like they actually did it right. I think it was in 2020. It was like, if you didn't move companies every 3 years, you are actually losing money because of what the job market was paying. And then like these companies would just give you a 3% bonus or a 5% bonus. And you're actually just making less money than if you left your job. You'd actually go make more money. Again, I'm not telling you guys to go quit your job and leave somewhere. But what I'm saying is, just because you're at a current company, if you're trying to get promoted as quick as possible and you want to go take those steps, you have to understand it might not be at that current company. Like I know companies where they're like, they have a rule. You have to be an associate for 2 years. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You have to do that. Well, for my person that did that in 7 months, that wasn't going to work for them, right? And so you guys have to be okay. Maybe I'm going to do this and then I'm going to go to another territory. Maybe I'm going to another division. Maybe I'm going to a whole different company, right? But again, it's all that. It's always the people who are like, I want my cake and I want to eat it too, right? Oh, I want to get in with this awesome company. I want to progress in under a year to from an associate to a full line rep. Then I want to crush it just like you did. And then I want to go to be a full line or territory or regional manager in the next 2 years. Now I'm only 2.5 years in, like you have, and now you're a regional manager. Like, again, guys, like this is never trying to like float the boat, but it's like, that's not real. Like, I'm very fortunate into the places that I've been and the success that I've had and the people. I've also worked my freaking butt off to get here. But understand, you guys will hear this because you've listened to me. You have to take risk, and I love taking risk, right? Because you're not going to win if you don't take risk. If you always play it safe, you're always going to just live this little normal life, and that's never what I've wanted. I'm always trying to take it. Guess what? Have I been burned? I've been burned a lot. Guess what? Have I won? I have won a lot. Like, welcome to sales. You are going to call on 1 million people and you're probably only going to get 20 of those deals. You lost a lot, but you also won a lot because you probably, those 20 deals probably did great, right? So that's how you guys just have to look on it. So again, hopefully this was helpful. If you guys haven't, press that like and subscribe button. If you guys are watching on YouTube, a 5-star review helps us grow this channel. And again, you guys, if you have any questions about the course, I want to give a big shout out. I know we already did this, but a big shout out to Kate. He just got broke in. He's a college senior. He was a nursing student, and he already now has a job and is getting paid before he even graduated in medical device sales. So we want to give him a big clap. Again, getting more people hired every single day in medical device sales. It is the absolute best. It is my dream. I love hearing your guys' success. So if you guys haven't, if you guys are thinking about joining the course or want to break into medical device sales, you guys need a LinkedIn no matter what. So go create a LinkedIn, then reach out to me. You guys can just go follow me at Jacob McLaughlin. We also have the page New to Medical Device Sales, but feel free to go follow me and then just reach out to me. Love connecting with you guys. Happy to answer any questions. Again, we did talk about it, but the course will be going up because again, we are getting a lot of traction. I don't know if they're all confident, but I know I'm confident. I know we will get that result. So again, we always just tell you guys, if it is something you're serious about, we're always happy to get on a call. But again, we have to talk to you before. And I'm very picky because this is my community, because we have a lot of great human beings that are in that community that it's my baby and I'm protecting it with all costs. I'm with you guys in the field. That's how we get fast results, because I live it every single day. I'm with you guys every single day, and I can walk you through the steps. And oh, by the way, I've helped over 800 people in the last 2 years do this exact same thing. So I know we can help you. So if you guys are interested in medical device sales, feel free to reach out. But until the next one, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep going after your dreams, and I'll see you next time.